Welcome back, everybody, to another HnK video game experience. This is Holliwood Cole here with Kleer Fire and guest today, Griffted. What's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Cool. What's up, Kleer Fire?
Man, it's been a day.
Oh, here we go, man. What's been going on?
Chasing the midget all day long, man. He kept me on my toes today. No, he did pretty good, but just we've had a long day. He had his first parade he was ever in, so I had to walk 1.5 miles with the parade, chasing a car the entire time, making sure the kid didn't fall out the side.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. So
I'm tell you what, man. I'm just glad that we actually got a fireside chat out just here recently. I thought that was just a myth.
It was a myth for a while. I'm glad I got it out, and I did it on the Retro Pie. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing the Retro Pie, so I'm trying to think of my next one. As y'all know, in about 2 weeks I'll be in LA, and I've decided that one of the nights that I'm sitting there not doing anything, I'm actually going to throw down about 2 or 3 of them that night. So we're going to see if I can do a marathon of podcasting.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
we're going to try it out, and we're going to see what I can do. I just want to have a stockpile of some podcasts to drop whenever I feel like the time is right for the different topics I go on. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, cool. So what we're going to do today is we got another. We've already done one Monster Hunter World podcast, okay? But now we got the man himself, Griffted here, who is a master monster hunter.
Oh gosh!
So we wanted to break it down. Let him break it down for you too. We got a lot of response to that Monster Hunter one. A lot of people, hey, I wish you would have said this. I want him to be on there. I wish I could have said this and whatever. So this is going to be the first one that we actually have kind of a reattack on, so to speak. But before we get into that, man, we'll kind of get a little bit of just kind of what's been happening with you, Griffted. Have you been playing anything besides Monster Hunter? I mean, what kind of games you usually into?
So, I mean, I kind of alternate between Monster Hunter and then like an alternate game. So I'll get on. Right now, I'm playing Yakuza Kiwami, the first one.
It's awesome. Yeah. Me too, man. I just got it.
That thing is nuts. That's my first Yakuza game too, and
yeah, me too.
Yep. And it's awesome, man. You know, I was stationed in Japan for 2 years, so it's almost like I get homesick when I play it, which is weird. Yeah, so it's been cool. So I alternate between that and then the 2 Monster Hunters that I play right now, which is GU and Monster Hunter World.
Okay, so you are playing GU.
Yeah, I'm working on GU. Yeah, grinding it up.
I'm still trying to debate whether I want to get it or not because I wasn't too satisfied with the demo that they put out. And I know the demo was probably really just junk, but I'm just like, I want to hear it because I know that one of our buddies that we play with, our reptile hunter, he loves it and he's been preaching to get it. And if you're saying the same thing, I might be playing Monster Hunter.
The thing about Monster Hunter, it's a game that demos terribly. It demos horribly. It's so bad. And but Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, for the money that you invest into it, what you get back, it's unbelievable. We're talking like over 80 large monsters. Monster Hunter World's sitting pretty with like 20 large monsters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's nuts. Was
this your first Monster Hunter game?
No. I've been playing Monster Hunter since Monster Hunter 3U.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been playing for a while.
That was on the Wii U?
Yeah, I actually got into it on the 3DS. Is how I got into it. And then, so I was playing that before I left for boot camp. And then I went to boot camp for the Navy, and I kind of fell out of Monster Hunter for, I don't know, a year or so. And I ended up going to Japan, getting stationed there, and I kind of got reintroduced into the into the series. And then I got back into it with 4U, and I haven't stopped playing since.
Were you always like really hardcore and like I got to do I got to be the best at it. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely not. No way. Absolutely not. Yeah, I was totally content with just playing with my friends and having fun. And that's pretty much was the standard for me. Even in early World release, I was just playing with my friends. With our old hunting group that we had going for a long time. And
we need to get the group back together.
Yeah,
it's been too wild. They were fun.
Yeah, so it's always been a casual experience for me, and only recently have I started to take it seriously and develop as a real player.
Well, yeah, after you and Max start getting those world records, of course you got to start developing. I mean, y'all were still knocking those out there for a little bit. I was like, man, they're really killing it.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah,
and then you're starting to get the solo ones now. This is it's really awesome, and so I'm really glad that I've been able to meet you through it and play with you, because it's been really fun to see you grow in the game. That it's been a lot of fun. So.
I'm telling you, the people that you meet in these games is crazy, absolutely insane. Yeah. So
before we get too deep into that, because I'm really going to break this down, man. I mean, this is very interesting after watching some of these videos and stuff. But before we get too deep into Monster Hunter, I wanted to cover a couple things. And you got the two things in the news that I wanted to cover, man. The PS Classic and the Switch Online.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the two things I wanted to cover as well, real quick. So, I'll start with the Nintendo Online, and I'll let you go with the PS Classic, and we'll throw it out like that. Okay. So, Nintendo Switch Online dropped back on September 18th. That was on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. Fantastic. I really like it. I mean, $20 for an entire year subscription. You can't beat that, and you get access to 20 NES games right off the bat. A lot of them are really good classic games. You've got Excitebike, the baseball game. You've got Super Mario Brothers. You got Super Mario 3. You got pro wrestling. Like, that's one of my favorite Nintendo games of all time. And, just a ton of classics on there.
Pro wrestling's on there? I didn't know pro wrestling.
Yeah, pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is on there. I'm so pumped. So I can't.
Everything.
I can't wait to slam you around on that one. Oh yeah, I can't wait to whoop you up on that one. I can still handle you. So, but that's gonna be a lot of fun. You'll probably hear some trash talk between me and Holliwood on that game. And now that I know that Griffted does have you do have a Switch, right, Griff?
I do, yeah.
All right, well then, it looks like we're gonna have some pro wrestling tournament throwdowns here before long. So, guys, get prepared to hear some about that, because that was one of my favorite games.
I'm warming up the fingers already. I'm getting ready.
There you go.
Because here's the thing with it. Are you about to hit it?
I'm gonna hit a couple things. Okay. So, first of all, for you to be able to play against anybody online, you have to be friends with them. So you're going to have to build a friends list. You're going to have to be able to share codes. It's kind of like Monster Hunter World, where you can in Monster Hunter World jump into some random things as long as they've shot an SOS. But as far as like just playing with someone randomly, you have to have that code. Well, Nintendo went hardcore on that, where you have to have a friend code to join into any friend event with people. So that kind of makes it a little because they were talking about having leaderboards and statistics of how people are playing on this game. So that kind of deflates that a little bit for me, but I really still think it's fun, because the draw for me is to play with my friends. I don't really want to go out and hunt a solo one, and this is going to be probably an opposition view to Holliwood, because I really want to play with my friends, because that's all I care about, is getting to play with my friends. Now, if some of our listeners out there want to play, I'm more than happy to start a Facebook group or something like that, to where we can always have those codes for Switch. I'm always open to do something like that and have those groups. And we're probably going to have to do that as a community playing on the Switch, just until they decide if they want to change that or not. Another thing that I'm really... Oh, go ahead. Let you throw yours in there.
Because that is the one thing that's just terrible, man. The friends only for Nintendo. That is a foul, man. There is no doubt. There's no way that's better than any online service, because I could play with my friends on Xbox, I could play with my friends on PlayStation, but also, if they weren't on, I could just find a random game. Why can't I just load up Tecmo Bowl? Because, hey, I got off work, had to work late one night, I got off this 11:30, everybody's asleep, loaded up, searching for opponent. Boom, there's one. I still can't talk to them, so I don't know why they would, hinder that, why they would put that to where it wouldn't happen. Because I know they're trying to keep it safe and, kid friendly. But if I already can't talk to them, what are they going to do? It's just another guy playing.
Well, let me throw this little tidbit in there as well, just to have this added in there. I kind of get why they've done that, because look at what's already happened to them. They've already had, within the first 24 hours, their system hacked to where they can play unofficial NES games on there. So outside of the 20 that are there, you can already hack your system and play other ones on there. So Nintendo's ecosystem is already kind of fragile. So they've got to have some way to kind of lock it down. And I think that as they grow, because this is their first online, like really truly online stuff. So as they grow, I think they're going to figure things out and get better at it. And it's sad that they didn't take a page from You got Sony that's sitting there. You got Xbox that's sitting there. You even got PC with Steam that's sitting there. They've got basically these structures that are already developed. They could have taken a page from them and done their own thing. But Nintendo's known for going on their own, not paying attention to what everyone else is doing and going on from there. So
that's perfectly fine. But why don't they just include? That's just something that seems like a no-brainer to me. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead, Griff.
I got a quick question. Maybe you guys can shed some more insight on this. I heard that they're locking like cloud data saves behind the paid service. So if you want to,
true.
So if you're backing up your save, you have to pay for it, right?
Yep. There's no cloud service right now unless you have Nintendo Switch Online.
So to me, that's obscene. It doesn't make any sense to me. So you're telling me you're locking a basic function that every console's providing for free behind a $20 paywall with 20 old games that I bought 25 years ago? I'm not really buying it. I'm not really buying this. And you know what else? Okay. If you want to break it down, like dollar for dollar, PS Plus has the best online service ever. You're getting AAA titles every month. Right? AAA releases every single month. They just had Mafia 3, That was a $60 game on release. So $50 for a year, I get AAA games every single month, but $20 a year, I get 20 old games that I've played 100 times already. Like it's not adding up. It's not adding up here.
And I thought the kicker was, well, now you can play them online. Oh, okay. Then it's like, nope, you can't really play them online. You can just play with your bros.
Right.
But I mean, it's just going to turn into that, what you said, Kleer, before. It's just a room full of friends codes you just randomly add, and it just becomes your own little network that you don't know anybody anyway.
And I really think that Nintendo will evolve it eventually. But they're how Nintendo is with everything they do. They always have to go their own route. They always have to fall on their face and then pick it up and make it better. They always do that. It's always, okay, let's try this out. Okay, this is terrible, but how can we make it better? And they come out with something better. So I'm thinking within a year or so, we're going to see a better online system. I hope they keep it at the $20 a year, because that's a great price. That's fantastic. I love that. But I do agree with the cloud saves. Why do you put it behind a paywall? Because here's the kicker. If you ever let your membership lapse, you lose all your cloud saves.
Yeah, you
they're gone. If you join back in, they're not there. They're gone. They delete them out. It's like Nintendo's like, oh, we're going to scrub your account, so you're just going to lose all your stuff. So I mean, this
is a blood pact. Wow. This is an absolute blood pact.
Exactly.
You have to sacrifice something to be a part of this club.
So, all right. Well, that's the only thing I wanted to talk about for Nintendo, man. I mean, it's just right. Okay, but that's just right when they're about to come over the top with this Nintendo Online. Everybody's waiting for it. Then it's like, you can't play with anybody but your friends. Because you know how many friends I got on Switch? 0. Because
you got 2 right here.
Well, I know, but I can't just type in Griffted or Kleer. I got to put X, capital E, 1, 3. I mean, who remembers that, dude? I mean, it's like even the friend is coded. You know what I'm saying? It's just silly. I mean, I hate that every gamer wants Nintendo to succeed, but they do these things over, and it's like, what are you doing?
They really do.
Anyway, that's a whole nother, we can do a whole podcast on Nintendo.
Really good. So the one other thing I want to add in, and this is like a really good thing and a really bad thing all in one thing. So they've also released with the Nintendo Switch Online, they've also released classic Nintendo controllers that can hook into the side of the Nintendo Switch, just like the Joy-Cons can. Really great looking controllers. The negatives, there's many negatives to them. They can only be played with the NES games that are on the system. They don't work with any other games. And then also too, you have to be a Nintendo Switch Online member to be able to even purchase them. So it's like, why make these really cool controllers? And I get what they're coming from, and I get that they're only usable if you are a Switch Online member, but maybe sell it in a package so that people would be like, oh, look, I get this and Switch Online for like $60. And now you've just driven demand so much better, and you've made people happy, because the controllers are going to cost $60 anyway. Let them buy it for $60, throw in Switch Online for a year for free, and then there you go. Don't make it limited to just a member. Let it be an introduction into being a member. They kind of put it backwards, so that's just my one beef about it. But I really like the controllers. They look great. They look just like the good old classic Nintendo controllers, and they are wireless and can charge into the Nintendo Switch. I was about to say Raspberry Pi. That's how much I've had that on my brain lately.
Fireside chat on your brain.
Oh yeah. So.
All right. Well, cool. That's what we got for the Nintendo Switch Online. Now, just announced also, PlayStation 1 Classic is out. What do you guys think about that one?
Yeah, so it's going to be its own system release, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to come with 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
And it will support your already existing PS1 games, right?
No.
Okay, so...
It's just like the Nintendo Mini and the SNES Mini that have their own, games built into it. It's basically... So I kind of discussed this a little bit in the... Well, I didn't really cover this part in the Retro Pie podcast I did, but the SNES and NES Mini is basically a specialized version of a Raspberry Pi / Retro Pi put into a NES case and a SNES case. That's basically all it is.
It's a fancy emulator.
That's all it is. It's a fancy emulator. That's exactly what it is.
It's a $100 emulator.
Yes.
You can buy a PlayStation 1 right now for $30.
$22.29. I just looked it up. Probably with that count shipping.
I'm not understanding here.
There's a lot of people that are in the same boat as you. I mean, I was initially hyped about it, but then I started hearing these points like you're talking about, and it's kind of like, well, man, why's everybody killing my joy, man? It's like, but it's so true though, man. I mean, it's like, wait a minute. A PlayStation 2, how much does that go for?
You can probably get one for about 50 to 60. 2. Yeah, for about 50 to 60, I think,
$50
is what I would have sent. So,
and then you can play PlayStation 1 and 2, and guess what? You got a DualShock. You don't have them on the PS1 Classic.
And you can have online play. Now, granted, you're not going to find anybody playing online, but you can have online play.
Yeah, and the PS2 even has that upscaling feature, too, for PS1 games.
And
yes, it does.
It's a DVD player.
There you go.
You got a lot of value out of the PS2.
The PS2 was probably one of the most valued systems because you just had all the bonuses out of it.
Still is.
But one of the things that I've been hearing about the PS1 Classics, a lot of people are pumped about it. And when they showed it, if you see the backside, you see all the connections that it has. It had this little cover port. It kind of looks like you can remove the cover and have something. Everybody's like, oh, maybe that's where you can add more games in, or it's got a network adapter for network play or anything like that. Sony's already came out and said, no, that is not it. It is going to come with the 20 games. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
No SD card or anything.
Nothing. No, but it does have save states like the Nintendo and the NES Mini and the SNES Mini.
Why is it $100?
That's what I was wondering. Why is it $100? Why is it like more than the other ones? Because the NES is $59. The SNES is $79, which I understand the differences in those because it was a big jump, and I understand that there's the rumor mill is definitely pumping hard on the N64 Mini, and the N64 Mini might possibly even have 4 controller ports on the front of it, just like the old one, and they've already gone through repatenting the N64 controller. So you're looking at having all of that classic, the terrible controller, which we all know is you either hate it or love it, and having everything that comes with the N64 Mini. I mean, that to me is a bigger thing that I would pay $100 for versus the PlayStation 1 Classic. I mean, the PlayStation 1 Classic is nice. It started basically the growth and the revolution of gaming with disc and going that direction and really pushing it hard on that. But how many games really came out of the PS1 that you can say that were just amazing, that really were revolutionary? A lot of them were games that were already had additions in them in other systems. So it's not like they have any revolutionary game in them. But, I mean, I get what they're trying to do because they're trying to jump on the bandwagon. Nintendo's done it the best. if they don't come with at least what Nintendo has done on their system with the way that it's done, which I don't think they are, because right now it's saying that the reset button on the system is how you press a reset button to save, and you press a reset button again to go out into another game. And I'm like, if that's how you do it, then you're a step behind Nintendo and you've lost this battle. You need to just go back to the drawing board. So
right, that sounds really unintuitive. Now, the controller that's coming out with it is it because the PS1 had those 2 different controllers, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's not the DualShock; it's just the original ones
with no analog.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so your like the roster, the 20 game roster is already eliminating the games that have DualShock or like analog support, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. Why?
Yeah.
Why? It's going to be a tough sell, man. I mean, Nintendo, household name, and PlayStation is too, but not like Nintendo. We all know. You got people that haven't gamed in, 30 years, and then Nintendo drops with the NES Mini, and they would get back into it for that,
Sure.
Because, let's check out they're simple to play games, blah, blah, blah. Super Nintendo, that's what got me into the Super Nintendo Mini, because that's a little bit more nostalgic for me. I just liked it more. But PlayStation just doesn't have that draw. And I don't know how reliable it is, but there was a Twitter, what am I trying to say, poll that somebody put out, and it had like 2,100 people and that participated in it. And
well, we know Holliwood didn't put that one out there.
No. Nobody participated in it. But not even you, because I'm shadow banned, man. I'm telling you, you don't even see my tweets.
I know. It's crazy.
Ever since I liked James Wood and Trump, I've been shadow banned. But yeah, nobody liked me. That's just the fact. I don't know why. Maybe it's a coincidence. Who knows? But anyway, but it had 2,100 people, and like high 50, if not low 60, said they would not buy the PlayStation Classic.
Right.
And so that did get me kind of thinking, $100, that's a lot for that. I mean, I don't know. I'll probably end up getting it.
It depends, it depends on the game roster, right? It's not confirmed yet, right? There's a couple leaks that have trickled out. Like someone said Wild Arms.
That'll be on there.
Yeah.
Wild Arms, the game I can buy for $3 on eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're putting in games that have value like Xenosaga or Xenogears on the PS1 and Vagrant Story or like hard to get games.
Vagrant Story, if they had that on there, that would make me want to buy it.
You see what I'm saying? So if they have games that are high value now that are getting put on here, okay, now you're kind of talking me into it, because $100, you could pay $100 for a brand new PS1 game, a rare one. If they're putting rare titles on there, now we're talking.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo did it. Nintendo did it with Earthbound. Earthbound was
Earthbound, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, all those. The hard to get RPGs
loaded up with rare titles, and now you got something that people are going to want. Otherwise, just buy a PS1.
Yeah.
Just buy a lot on eBay, and you'll get it for $85, and you'll get 35 games, Barbie, horse racing.
You're going to get some really, just junk games out of it.
I'll tell you what, you're going to get some games.
You're probably going to get some good ones too.
Pa Rappa the Rapper will be in there. It's in every bundle.
It's got to be in there. Well.
It seems like.
Well, I heard that they might possibly put the Grand Theft Auto series in it. And that would be great, because I really did love playing Grand Theft Auto 1. Now, granted, when I played Grand Theft Auto 1, it was like, okay, let me get a bus or let me get a motorcycle and see how fast I can go up and down the streets. You didn't really play the game much. You just plow through everything terrible, and then,
dude.
I mean,
they really are, but it's
a terrible game, but it's for that nostalgia factor. I mean, that's exactly what the NES Mini was. That's exactly what the SNES Mini is. It's playing on our nostalgia factor. And if it has enough nostalgia in it, I'll get it. And just like Griffted just said, if you can throw some of those rare, hard to get games on it, you throw a Vagrant Story on there, I'll buy it hands down, because heck, Vagrant Story is going to be a hard game to get now, and I'm going to have to buy a PS1 to be able to play it. If you already have it on there you go. I'm happy with the little extra games that get thrown in on the side.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool, man. So let's go ahead and jump into this Monster Hunter now. So, for you guys that don't know, Griffted has his own YouTube channel. Do you have some world records still to this day?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how many world records do you have?
So how speedrunners kind of keep track of their world records two ways. You have speedrun.com, which is mostly used by American Western players. And that's for both, there's two categories. There is the restrictive category called the TA Wiki, which is a strict set of rules where you can't use certain equipment, you can't use certain skills. And then there's non-TA. So speedrun.com documents both of those. And then the TA Wiki, the Japanese website, documents the TA Wiki rules. So I have 5 on the TA Wiki and I don't know, maybe 18 on speedrun.com still.
Jeez.
So you got 22 world record.
I mean, these are just numbers I'm throwing out, but it's up there. Yeah, definitely.
Wow, man.
That's amazing.
That's unbelievable.
Well, thank you.
I knew you had about 10 or 12. I didn't realize it had gotten up to 20. That's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so I was watching your videos and, I mean, dude, like I was just doing some research and seeing. So we've been talking about having you on the show for a while, and your videos.
We were going to pull Max with you too, but I guess he's just decided to bail out on the game there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he got a woman, and the woman's taking over on that. I'm gonna have to give him a little hard time on that.
Yeah.
So, do you know Max in real life, or
no,
is it just met him on the game?
Yeah,
he's
met
cool
him on the
too,
game.
Man. He seems to be really cool.
He's a cool guy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I was watching your videos and to do a little research, and the one particular. So you're a hunting horn guy, obviously,
right.
And so that alone is like an advanced weapon. It even tells you. I think it says like if you're trying to pick weapons, it's like don't pick this one,
right?
Because unless you're real advanced. It's like,
well, let me throw out a statistic there that I do remember. I think less than 1% of everybody that plays on Monster Hunter World plays with hunter horn.
Yeah,
the hunting horn. So that tells you out there. How challenging it is and how rare it is to find somebody that excels in it. And we've got Griffted here that gets world records with the hunting horn.
Oh, gosh.
So I was looking at your video for Rathalos for a sub 2 minute Rathalos.
Yeah.
And so you get on there and start describing what here's what you're talking to your videos where you're trying to do. The first one was like 240 or 250, then it went down to 240. So you see it start ticking time off, and did it very. I mean, dude. I mean, I would think you would be like a professional at talking in these videos. The way that you laid it out and described it for people. I mean, it's just a step by step thing, and it's. I mean, you don't mumble like me. You don't like go or repeat yourself or whatever. It's just really crisp, and it's kind of. Just paced, and you really describe it in the way that you describe. Oh man, yeah, the way that you describe the different moves and stuff that the monster is doing, and how you react to it, and where you stand. I mean, I think at one point you're not to jump all around here, but the Rathalos, you're talking about an arena quest and how he does a flip, and then you leave marks on the ground for a few seconds, and you stand at this point, and then you'll be able to bash him in the head. I'm like, dude, this guy has done some serious research. Which obviously, if you got world records, that's the kind of time and dedication you got to put into it. But anyway, then I wanted to see the. Hold on, I wanted to see the next.
Go ahead.
So anyway, I wanted to see the next video. And I was like, man, I hope he gets this under 2 minutes, man. Because like I was like getting invested in it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's that good. And then I just like, well, I guess he hadn't done it. I didn't load up all the videos, and then I was watching another one. I think it was an arena one. Then it went, hey, sub 2 minute Rathalos. I was like, oh, dude, he did it. And clicked it, and I just saw you beat dude down, man. It's just so satisfying when you're getting those hits on that dome piece with that big. Boom! Boom!
So satisfying.
So nice.
It's so satisfying.
It sounds good when you hit too with the hunting horn. It's just amazing. I love the sound that it has with it.
It's fantastic. Yeah, that Rathalos quest is that was one of my more prouder speedruns actually. So the thing is, like, I spent 3 days on that quest and just grinding it out. It was non-TA rules, so I was able to use you think of it like no restriction speedrunning or any percent speedrunning.
Yeah.
So I was able to use my Palico, able to use the equipment there, and that was actually the world's first sub 2 minute Rathalos with the hunting horn that anyone had ever gotten in the game. So I was super proud of it. I was like, man, this speed run's going to blow up, and then boom, 30 views. And I was like, that is such a lesson, right? Because, if you want to get into speedrunning, you're not going to get views. You're not going to get, you have this idea in your head. You're like, man, I'm going to be a big deal, Yeah. And then you like pour your heart into a run, and it's like, boom, 30 views. And you're like, okay, well, next one,
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. What I like about it, and I'm going to throw a little sidestep there, is what I think that you've done really well is your hunting horn masterclass. Dude, your views on that are insane. I'm looking at it. You're getting 2K views on most of those videos, and you're teaching people how to use it and how to use it efficiently and build into these speed runs. Listeners out there, if you're looking at wanting to get into Monster Hunter World and you're wanting to play something more unique, go to Grifted's channel, watch his masterclass, Hunting Horn Masterclass. It's amazing what he's done in there, the educational stuff that you get out of there. That's where I think that Griffted has his best. Even though he has all these amazing world records, which I can't even hold a candle to, it's just amazing to watch how he tells you how to use this. He puts his knowledge of how he's killed Rathalos in a sub 2 minute to use in this for other things. It's great. It's a great series.
So the whole reason why I even started a YouTube channel is like I was so frustrated with the speedrunning community, because you see amazing speedruns, right? You see these brilliant players playing all the time, and they're not putting out any sort of tutorial, any sort of talking about anything like that, what they're doing, why they're doing certain things, strategies. And so that I was frustrated on that aspect. And then the other side was, if you type in hunting horn guide on YouTube, you get the most generalized, like broad spectrum guides you've ever seen, right? And this is great if you're a starting player, right? But I wanted something that bridged the gap between, okay, I'm a beginner, I want to take it to the next level. And there's these nuances with the hunting horn, just like many weapons in Monster Hunter, except for dual blades, because come on, let's be honest, guys. But
don't be hating on that now. That's my weapon there.
So there's things that you learn. It's just like a fighting game character, right? There's nuances that you learn that you don't know from 10 hours of gameplay and then making a guide about it. You learn it after 1,000 hours of game, and you're like, okay, now this clicks. I want someone to tell me those little intricacies, those tiny little details. And I was like, no one's doing it. I might as well do it. And so that's how the channel was born.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fantastic. I mean, you're at almost 1,000 subscribers. The last time I checked, it was like 709, which, I mean, that's crazy. I remember the first time that you were like, hey, I got the channel up, and I looked at it and you had like 30 subscribers. I was like, man, he's only got 30. I got 600 I got 600 likes over here on my Facebook page. Let's start seeing if we can get some of these people to like it. Put it on there, and then he went from like 30 to 100. I was like, all right, good. I did something good for him. Great. And then it's like all of a sudden, he starts doing these masterclass things for hunting horn, and it's like your channel blows up. And that's why I really want to drive home that fact of that masterclass. I really think that was your crowning achievement. I know that you worked really hard on that sub 2 minute wrath. Dude, I could never do that. I couldn't even dream of doing that, because to me he's one of my banes, because I really just don't like him fighting him. But but I also play dual blades, so it's really tough to fight a flying monster with dual blades. It's just you're just kind of at a disadvantage there. So
it is weird what people will kind of latch onto, and a lot of times it's just because they don't know that it exists. Are you talking about the 30 views on the 2 minute, the world's only 2 minute Rathalos, and how to use a hunting horn? I mean, those are two things that have a lot of meat behind them, so to speak, that people would want to hear. And one of the stories that I always like to tell, my little claim to fame on Twitter, right? So I was playing Octopath Traveler. So I was playing Octopath Traveler, and I'm just watching a fighting these squirrels or whatever, and I'm just kind of doing my thing, and then it pops up an attack. It says D's nuts. So I'm like, wait, did that squirrel just have an attack called D's Nuts? So I look it up on on the internet. The game had only been out like a week, and they were like, man, and what is it? Reddit's like blowing up. Man, did you see those squirrels that got an attack called D's? I look up a picture because I want to post it. No picture. Guess what? I got the world's only picture of D's Nuts.
And nobody says anything about it.
And posted it on Twitter. And zero. I got one like from, somebody.
You thought you had him.
Yeah, 0 retweets. And then I see, just to ice it on the cake, just another slap in the face.
God.
Is somebody says, oh, I missed my plane, so I guess good thing I got Octopath Traveler. 129 retweets for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got the world's only picture of these nuts, and nobody cares.
No one's appreciating it.
Yeah, nobody appreciates it.
It's crazy. That just shows you how fickle people are on things, and it's just one of those things where doing the podcast, we've been doing it for a year now. We've seen those kind of trends, and we've seen that kind of stuff with the things we post with our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter. And it's just like, really, we have something that we think would hit, and it falls flat on its face, and then something that you were just posting a funny up there. We posted all kind of random stuff on there, and I posted this one thing of Sonic dying, turning into a bunch of rings that gets 500 hits like that. It's like, why that when I just posted something about this awesome game that's coming out in 2 weeks, and it got like 20 hits. I'm like, it's just so weird about it. It's weird how it all works.
Starting my YouTube channel, it was just like, I knew that I was starting a YouTube channel for a very niche game, Monster Hunter World. At the time it was niche. Now it's a big deal now. For an even more niche weapon, a weapon that less than 1% of the population plays. So, you're coming to my channel for a very specific reason. You're not just gonna like saunter on by and be like, oh, Griffted, like you're seeking the information. You're seeking out the hunting horn information. So, it is. I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky to have the subscribers that I do. And what's insane is like having the fans who have been there since April when I started my YouTube channel in April. Yeah. And I just have these like random guys who just like, how do you even find my videos first off, and they comment like, oh, subscribing, going to be here for the long run. And then fast forward till now, and they're still commenting on my videos just like, yeah, Griffted, sick, dude, keep it up. I'm like, I literally almost cry every time I see them comment on my videos. I'm like, awesome. Guys, dude, I don't deserve that. Holy smokes.
But that's actually amazing. If you've only been out since April and you got almost 1,000 subs, dude, that's legit.
He's killing it.
It's crazy. Yeah. I missed the biggest opportunity for these Monster Hunter World speedrunners was the beta, right? The beta was huge. Channels blew up. You had TSC, Predator, world-class players that just blew up. I'm talking 5K, 6K, 10K. Yeah. Some of their views are hitting like 50K on the beta, and I'm like, man, that's amazing. Fumetto, one of the biggest, right, blew up on the beta, and I missed it, man. I missed the beta. I was like kicking myself.
Yeah.
But the thing is like you said, if you go look for anything hunting horn, you're going to be the one they find now because you've got it locked down, even though it's less than 1%. Think about it. It sold how many? Is it at 10 million copies now that the game sold? I know it's the highest selling game for Capcom.
Number last I heard was like 8.5 or 8.6.
Okay, so you're looking at okay, let's call it 9 million. 1% of 9 million. That's still a lot of people. That's still a lot, quite a large base there for you to get, and you've only got 700 of them, so you've still got a long ways to grow, and that's great because you have that growth potential. And you also get people that, one, don't play it as frequent, like me and Holliwood. We don't get to play it as frequently, and we definitely enjoy watching your videos. I know I have fun watching it. Heck, if I get bored at work, I'm like, oh, let's go watch that 2 minute let's go watch that sub 2 minute Rathlos again. That'll give me a good pick me up through the day because it's an awesome video. It's great. I know how much time you put into it because I remember you talking about it and working it.
Every like, every comment is an absolute blessing. I tell my wife every single time I get a subscriber, she's heard 720 22 times I've notified her that I've gotten a subscriber. And
just list them out. Okay, here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another
bless
one.
her heart, awesome. Because she's just like, oh, that's great, babe.
What is she? Yeah, does she? That's good. My wife, I was telling her, hey, we got this guy coming on. Oh, great! I'm real excited for you. Right, they got this other guy, and there's a couple other high profile guys that we're trying to get, and they're just like, well, great. It's just tired of hearing about it, I think.
Yeah. My
wife's the exact same way. Like, oh my gosh! Like, I was telling her about it. I was like, I get to talk Griffted tonight. I was like, we used to play when Monster Hunter World was first out. Playing with him a lot. He was teaching me a lot and everything. I finally get to sit down and chat with him. It's like a high school reunion or whatever, getting all the buddies back together. And she's like, great.
I got my wife to agree to watch We Happy Few.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard about this game. I just heard about it. It's kind of creepy. And I'll tell you about it in a second. But and then I said, well, you want to sit down and talk about it? We'll do a podcast about it. And she's like, okay. I'm like, what? Okay, we'll see if that happens or not.
That's impressive.
We'll see. I'll believe it the day that it happens. But anyway, We Happy Few is just a kind of a freaky game. Just look it up if you want to see it. But dude, I got to ask you. First, back to Monster Hunter. The Hunter Horn. Did you get that one because it was so challenging? Is that what drove you to it?
What drove me to it was, I started playing in Monster Hunter 3U, and at that point, the hunting horn was still in its infancy. It came out in second generation, which was like Frontier Ultimate and some of those bizarre like Japanese games that Westerners didn't get a chance to play. And the hunting horn actually had like this a recital mode. You had to get into the mode and you were locked into place and stuff. And so moving from that to the third generation, which when I got into the hunting horn, it was a lot more fluid. It resembled what it is today. But anyway, I was playing the hammer, and I liked the idea of knocking monsters out, but I really hated the hammer. I don't know why. It just didn't resonate with me. And I was like, well, what are the other weapons that can knock monsters out? Well, there was only one other one. It was the hunting horn. So I picked it up, and I was like, okay, all right. I liked the challenge. But it was more just I hated the hammer more, and I liked the hunting horn way more. So that's how it just stuck.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to ask you the question that everybody's probably asking. How many hours do you have in Monster Hunter Ultimate? Or Monster Hunter World, excuse me.
Right. So I'm touching right around 1,000 right now, but with that, a lot of times, like I go into an expedition and I'll be running something, and I'll rage quit. And I'll just turn off my PS4. So a lot of my hours aren't documented. So which I'm thankful about, But yeah, I'm right at about 1,000.
Okay.
I know that feeling. I guess, and also along with that is, what's your hunter rank? Because I don't remember where you're at. How far have you gotten so far on that?
I think I'm like 290 or 300 or something like that. And again, a big part of being a speedrunner is you're not finishing quests ever.
No, you're not.
So for my hours, for 1,000 hours played, I'm only like hunter rank 280 or something. Like it doesn't add up.
But too, just for the listeners out there, if you don't play Monster Hunter World, your hunter rank really doesn't matter much. It allows you access into some of the higher ranked monsters, but once you break over 100, it's not really anything. You're not getting any stronger for having a higher hunter rank. It's just more of showing, hey, I've completed X amount of quests, X amount of events, and things like that.
Yeah. What? So, I'm hunter rank 310. Okay, well, dude, I got 27 world records.
Oh, God.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's like, dude, what? So a lot of times, like the first time I played Monster Hunter was, I thought it was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on Wii U. And I can't remember. I thought that's what it was. Does that sound familiar to you? Wasn't that one on Wii U?
Yeah, it sure was. Came out on the 3DS and the Wii U.
Yeah, that's right. Then they had the other one, Monster Hunter 4, that just came out on just 3DS. Yep. That's right. And I played solo the whole time, And now that I started playing with the group, I kind of touched on this in the last one. It's a whole different experience. And so you would think, or the people listening, or if you're just not real familiar, that hey, if you can get Rathalos in 2 minutes by yourself, if you had somebody else come in there, you could probably get it in like a minute. Is it easier to do by yourself than? What's your take on this whole thing?
It depends on the game, but in Monster Hunter World specifically, it's so much easier to do it solo. I mean, you're really hurting yourself by playing in a group, save for the two like sort of siege monsters that Monster Hunter World has. That's Kolv Taroth and Behemoth. Those are pretty much, you have to be in a group to complete them, but everything else you should be playing solo.
So Behemoth, I actually just that's a siege monster. I didn't even realize that was a siege monster.
You know, it's not a siege monster. It's it's more akin to like a raid boss.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're not queuing up and waiting for a raid, but it's on that level.
Does he run away and then you got to come back and finish him? You know, or can you do it all in one 50-minute thing?
Yeah, you do it all in one sitting.
Okay.
But it's still kind of like Kolv Taroth, because like with Kolv Taroth, he goes into the different stages, the different levels, and so you have that different breakdown level with him as well.
Yeah, you have the same stages. Yep.
Yeah, so you have that. So it has that same feel of that, but you're not trying to raise I forget what it's called, the research level and all of that, trying to get the higher rewards, rewards level.
Yeah, no, it's
basically your rewards are your rewards for that one.
So, do you have a standard set? I mean, I know you show your gear and stuff after every time you do a world record, not counting just world records, I guess. I mean, to do a world record, you obviously have to fine tune your guy. But just, hey, we want to kill this monster fast, and I need to go get some more attack gems or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Do you have a standard breakdown?
Yeah. So I mean, for like for my general purpose gameplay, if I'm playing Monster Hunter World, I'm speedrunning. I'm not hopping online. I'm not playing with anybody else. So when I'm running monsters, it's fully optimized gear, the best of the best, and it's pretty much matchup dependent. So depending on the monster, I might use Deep Vero or the Kolv Taroth Pipe Sleep, or in rare cases a Blast Horn, and I just follow the meta trends. That's pretty much it. But when I did play in a group, I really, really love the earplugs horns. So there's two in the game. There's Desolation's Overture, and there's the Empress Roar Ruin, the Lunashra version. It comes with earplugs large, comes with affinity up, which I love that song set. I think that's such a great note set, such a fun. That's really what I recommend a lot of hunting horn players start using. Just because it's fun, we're not here trying to set world records. We're here to have fun, right? So,
right.
Yeah. So I recommend that, and then just build for your DPS. I don't get into the whole support builds or the defense builds. That's not really my scene. So I always recommend the attack boosting skills and just whack away.
That's always what I thought of the hunter horn as a support weapon, but not so much.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. And unfortunately, Capcom has just forced that down people's throat, that like support weapon. You're the bard of the group. You have to.
Yeah, that's what I think about it.
You have to play your songs and make sure your team's all healed up. And I'm
in the back.
I'll tell you a funny story. Actually, I was playing Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate with a couple buddies on this other Discord, and they were like, hey, they put in Discord, hey, we need someone to play. And I was like, oh, I'm down, and they were doing Dread King Rathalos, which is a pretty tough monster. And they didn't know who I was. I'm not like a famous guy or anything. And so I'm just playing with them, having fun, doing Dread King Rathalos. And one's using Insect Glaive, one's using a Sword and Shield. And I'm using the Hunting Horn, Brave style, because there's different styles in there. And before the quest starts, they're like, oh, man, what kind of songs do you have on your hunting horn? And I was like, attack. And they're like, what else, dude? What else do you have? I'm like, that's the only song I have. I only have attack. And they're like, no, like your other songs. I'm like, I'm telling you, dude, I'm looking at it right now. There's only one song I see. It's attack up. And so like we're doing this quest, and they're great guys. They were just getting destroyed by Dread King Rathalos. And they're like, dude, your hunting horn has a heal song. I'm like, no, it doesn't, guys. Like, I'm telling I only know attack up. I don't know any other songs.
That's hilarious.
Oh man, you got my mind's off of that. That's funny.
That's just so.
Because I just go so far with it. That's just awesome. I was just talking to a friend of mine last night on the phone about this kind of stuff, about the Palicos and all the support. And it's like, is the Palico going to help me make this monster bleed, then I don't care what he does. It's like, is he going to let me cut the dude's head off? Then I don't care.
The kicker to that though was like at the end of the quest, they were like, "Dude, you're like the worst hunting horn player ever." I was like, great. Man, you're right. I guess I am a really bad hunting horn player.
Just something protect us from poison or something.
I'm so bad with my 22 world records.
Oh my gosh, that's
I just laughed and I was like, funny. Yeah, man, I'm bad, dude. I'm a bad hunting horn. And really I am, if you really think about it. I'm not doing the things that like, teammates should be doing because I'm such a selfish player. I'm so selfish. I only care about me.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a problem. I think it goes back to your statement of how Capcom tried to make that weapon a support only weapon,
right?
When you can prove flat out it's not. It's a more versatile weapon than what they say it is. I mean, you've got the gameplay to prove that it's not just a support weapon. And when you have people expecting it and you come out and do something different, of course, in their minds, you're a terrible player or you're a terrible hunting horn player.
Oh, they were good guys. They were good guys.
But from the other aspect is you're actually a really good hunting horn player because you've actually taken the weapon and made it do something that the developers didn't intend for it to do, and you're doing it well. And so that's a great achievement there. I have to throw that in there because, like I said, I got to give you your props on this one because you've got you've done great on that.
If there's any aspiring hunting horn players out there, it's okay. You don't have to heal your teammates.
Don't hear your teammates just whack away.
Just
beat the monster up.
Kill monsters fast.
Beat the monster up.
So I was watching a couple other videos, and this one in particular was the Arch-Tempered Kieran. So I was like, is he going to kill a Kieran? This weapon's slow. It's got to be hard with a big slow weapon. So right at the beginning, I mean, your guy's like, okay, he's doing. I don't know if you're trying to do a record on that. I know obviously every time you do it, you're trying to get better and better, and just learning or whatever. But so your guy starts off, and I don't even know how the hunting horn works, but it's like I guess you're just tapping in like triangle, circle, whatever, and the guy's doing his thing, drinking the potions and whatnot. I don't even know why you bother to do a max potion though, because you don't hardly ever get hit. You just kind of go in there and do your thing. At least. So, so you go in there and you jumped on this ledge where the Kieran always is. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember the name of the world or whatever. That's how I haven't played it in a while. But
no, it's okay. So the Coral Highlands. Yeah.
Yeah, and he sits down like two big barrels and just kind of walks off, and then and it's like nobody's even seen the Kieran yet, and then the Kieran just jumps over this other thing and lands right on the barrels and blows up. It's like, God, how did he even like? He's done this a couple times.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah.
So do you just learn these movements, as you play, or do you read up on it a lot first? And
so, the thing about the hunting horn speedrunning community, it's extremely small. And the top 5 of the hunting horn community is, I mean, we're looking at such a selective group of people. So we kind of just, I look at someone else's run like QUA. He's the other, he's a Japanese speedrunner. And then Kiro, me, Frost, and Mecha. That's pretty much the top 5. And I look at their stuff and I steal their strats. They look at my stuff, steal my strats, and
sure,
it's awesome that way. And I love that. But we're not in communication or anything like that. It's just sort of, you fight a monster hundreds of times and you just keep optimizing your movements, when you're taking your consumable items, when you're playing your songs, you just try different stuff and keep optimizing and until something sticks,
Yeah.
So we've talked about your favorite gear, your loadouts that you like, especially for you being a solo player. What's your favorite monster?
In Monster Hunter World?
Yeah, we'll go with just World for right now.
I'm a big fan of Legiana, but I just recently did the Nergigante speedrun. I tied the world record for Nergigante.
I saw that one. That was awesome too.
And I love Nergigante. I cannot tell a lie.
It's such a unique monster.
It's a great monster.
That really did great on Nergigante.
I love it. I love the gimmick. Be aggressive. Like, you're rewarded for being aggressive. You're rewarded for taking risks. I love that he has lower health, and it's not a long fight. He's not super bloated. I love Nergigante. Yeah.
Well, if you just get up in Nurg's face, it's just such a fun fight.
It is.
You know, and that's what I love. That's what I love, because I play dual blades. And yes, we all know dual blades is the baby weapon. That's if you really want to get out there, you know. And of course, with our hunting horn expert here that plays in the top 1% of the people here, you know, of course he's going to give me grief about it. But I love it because it's one of those, it's like with the hunting horn, because the hunting horn, if you're going to attack him, you got to hit him in the head. With the dual blades, I love being able to do some of the attacks there that just getting up in his face. I really like that, and he's a fun monster to fight. I love
Nergigante. That speedrun was very enjoyable. I did 3 days of Arc Tempered Kushala, which was just a nightmare, and I was going to take that quest. I was going to take that quest for the full 3 weeks. I was going to do that quest every day for 3 weeks and just like demolish that world record. And I did 3 days, and I bailed. I was like, no.
I don't blame you.
Can't deal with that.
Kushala is just a pain. When you throw Arch Tempered on top of it, it's just brutal. Like, oh.
And there's so many terrible things about that quest from a speedrunner's perspective that it's a nightmare. It's like playing a dice game, like as fast as you possibly can. Like, how fast can you roll these dice and get sevens? That's what it's horrible. Yeah. Nergigante is a more straight up fight, a much needed break from Arc Tempered Kushala.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
It's a 3-part question.
Okay.
What is the world record for killing the Great Jagras?
Okay.
Do you hold it, and how fast can you kill the Great Jagras?
Gosh, I don't even know what.
I'm pretty bad with that insect glaive on that Great Jagras.
I mean, my dual blades, I could tear a Great Jagras up pretty quick.
I don't even know what the world record is. It's got to be, sub 1. But for the hunting horn, who knows? I don't know. I've never done it with hunting horn.
Oh, you got to do it. Mine is like, I mean, you can kill the insect glaive can kill him in like a minute and a half. Oh, so yeah. It's like he said he wouldn't even. I just would, yeah. Man, I wish you knew that, because I thought it'd be like probably 15 seconds or something. But you're bashing.
No, I never did it. Me and Max and I. Max and I actually did the low rank double Great Jagras event quest, and we had the world record on that quest for like 5 months. And
I remember that. Yeah,
we did hunting horn dual blade, and then to get the sub 1, I switched to dual blades. That's the only speedrun on my YouTube channel where I don't use a hunting horn. It's the only video where I'm not using a hunting horn.
And guys, this is an expert saying that he used dual blades.
Yeah.
Shows you that it's a good weapon.
Yeah. That was a really fun quest. Low rank Great Jagras. That was great.
I bet that was a blast doing that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah. Some of that stuff was fun.
It's just beating the fool out of a monster. I mean, it's hilarious.
I got one other question, man. So is there any other games that you play that you've really just tried to get world records on, or just...
Yeah, so Monster Hunter World's my first game that I've speed ran, but I've been looking at other games that I want to start getting into. I'm looking at like 2D side scrollers that I want to like kind of look into, things like Salt and Sanctuary. Celeste just came out recently. That looks cool. The new Mega Man looks cool. So 2D side scrollers I'm kind of interested in. I'd like to invest into a different game and speed run and just test the waters. Not looking to set any world records, just have fun.
Yeah. So the thing that just kills me with these games is you see the Mario speed runs. I don't know if you've looked at any of these, but I mean, you have to. I don't even know how to explain it, or if I want to. It's essentially just. I mean, every little jump pixel perfect to get these. And that just would just drive me up the wall, man. I mean, it'd just be so tough to make it perfect all the way through.
Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, if I start speedrunning something else, it has to be beaten in under an hour, because I can't sit there for hours and hours. People are speedrunning like Final Fantasy games, 13 hours. Come on.
Like, what if you mess up on hour 12 and a half? Right. It's like, I'm not going to go back and do it again.
I got a wife. I got things to do.
Yeah.
So there's one statistic. I know you're not going to have this, but there's one statistic that I need that I need to research, and we've got to find out is with speedruns, you're going to have rage quitting, because it's going to drive you just nuts to do this. how many of these speedrunners, how many TVs do these speedrunners go through?
Right.
Or monitors do they go through? Or controllers like from breaking it from rage quitting? Because, you know, in my mind, when I see rage quitting, I see the controller flying at the screen
right.
and just walking away for like a day and then coming back and like, man, I got to buy a new TV. All right, let's go out there and get a new one. Let's do this all over
terrible.
again.
You know, my wife will watch me play the game and I'll start to kind of lose it a little bit, you know? And I'll be like, you know, gripping the controller a little bit tighter than I should be. And I'll be like, you know, just a little bit tweaked out. And I'll look at my wife and my wife will raise her eyebrows. She'll be like, really? You're 30 years old. You're not going to break your
I can afford another one.
I love that.
You're not going to break your controller. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to do it.
Well, dude, I'm just glad that there's actually like an honest speed run that can be had on one of these games. And what I mean is if you play like Wii U, Super Mario Kart, or one of these games, you know, you'll keep up with your scores, you know, keep up with your time, and you'll just get around so fast, like, okay, I'm number, 100,009 or whatever. Who's the number one guy? Let me see. It took me 3.5 minutes to finish the track. Oh, he did it in, -2 seconds.
Right.
So somebody like hacked it or something. It's like, dude, come on, man. You just ruined it for everybody. It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And to have an actual honest game where the guy that actually put the work in gets it, that's a good thing, man. So it's good to see that people that have earned it are getting recognition. So
yes.
Thank you.
Well, dude, man, where can we find you on YouTube? You got a Twitter or whatever, man? Just drop it.
Yeah, so it's all of the social media is just Griffted. That's capital GRI 2 F's TED Griffted, and that's YouTube.com. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, and you can find me there. Yeah.
And for all you listeners out there, when we drop this podcast, you will have all the links to Griffted stuff. We'll put it in there with the podcast so you can easily get to it. We want to make sure you get access to his stuff. Go check out his videos. Give him a like. Give him a follow. Give him a subscription. I mean, check him out. He does great work, guys. It's really great to have him on this show. And I really, I hope that you want to come back on the show and do this again, because this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me.
Especially with you being such an expert in Monster Hunter World, maybe do another show down the road and get a little more detailed in some of the stuff that you do, like on building things and stuff like that. If people want to get more detailed into this, because I really think that would be a lot of fun like that to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm holding my tongue on the Yakuza Kiwami, man. There's so much I want to chop up with you. That's my first Yakuza game, too. So we'll have to get back on that one later.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Man,
that's a banger of a game, too, boy.
The two of y'all could throw down a Smooth Ramblings for that. That'd probably be a perfect one for that, since you both are diving into that. I haven't had time to dive into that one yet, so...
Well, cool. Yeah, well, appreciate you guys listening. Hit us up, subscribe. You can get the new downloads. We've dropped a few back to back here. Hopefully this one will be out by Sunday night. And so that'll be 3 within a week. And so a little unorthodox. We usually drop them about once a week. That's fast, but maybe once every couple of weeks. But as long as you're subscribing, you can get them right away, and you won't miss a single one. We're going to do a lot more contests coming up. We'll give you the details on Facebook. This is going to be the Facebook contest you were talking about, Kleer.
Yep.
Anyway, just appreciate you guys tuning in. Subscribe, like us on Facebook, and check out the videos.
Thanks, guys. Keep following.